Let's talk about WWE video game covers. Has very little to do with the actual game, if anything. So who cares? It doesn't matter, right? Wrong. It's the first thing you look at. People say don't judge a book by its cover. But you do. You always will. It's like picking which movie to watch. You always pick the coolest cover. That's what we do. We're all human. When I see a cover like this, I immediately think the logo, the colors, background, the pose. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Take my money. I don't have any. Can I pay in beans? On the other hand, when I see a cover like this, I immediately think, oh my lord! It's Seth. It's Seth Rollins. It's Seth Rollins in a red background. Seth Rollins is a cool superstar, you know? The cover says nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. So in today's Wrestling Game Time episode, I want to talk about WWE video game covers. Keep in mind, I'm not talking about the quality of the video game, I'm only talking about the video game cover. Now, WWE game covers used to be very unique, colorful, creative, and every time you would get a different cover. So what happened? Well, WWE 12 happened. So I want to start with some old, bad looking WWE video game covers. And I want to start with the old ones because I don't want to sound like an old guy with a huge forehead. In my days, every cover used to look very good. Anyway, I don't want to sound like the old guy, so I'm gonna start with some of the worst looking video game covers that are old. For example, WWE Raw on PC. Okay, that's a terrible video game. It has nothing to do with the game, the cover looks horrible as well. What is even happening? There's way too much going on in the background. I see Triple H, I see Jeff Hardy, I see The Undertaker, and I see Kane doing a chokeslam to someone. Who is that? It could be Edge, it could be Jericho, it could be anything. So this is an example of a video game cover that has way too much going on. I'm not the biggest fan of both Day of Reckoning covers. Like I've said, it has nothing to do with the actual game. Both games are great. The first one has Trish Stratus, Triple H, and Randy Orton. As much as I appreciate the fact that Randy Orton is on the cover, it looks kinda boring. It had a second version as well, and this one had John Cena, Randy Orton, Ric Flair, Batista, Triple H, basically the Evolution, and it doesn't look bad, but it looks like a custom-made cover. Just put a bunch of PNG files on it. Day of Reckoning 2 is a bit more creative, but in my opinion still pretty boring. Stacy Keibler out of everyone, really. Another WWE video game cover that I don't really like is Wrestlemania 21 on Xbox. By the way, a horrible game, I know. Nothing to do with the game though. Look at this cover. What is this? Why is this the most boring piece of whatever I've ever seen in my entire life? Live, online enabled. Big effing deal. Become a legend. Get a nicer cover. The actual disc, however, looks pretty nice. 10 out of 10 with Smash. Another bad cover is WWF Attitude. The background is red and everyone is red as well. Kinda confusing. Not the biggest fan. And this is an unpopular opinion, but WWF No Mercy doesn't look that good as well. It's a great video game, but the cover is just boring. It tries to have a lot going on, but at the same time it looks kinda too simple. So these are some exceptions, like not every old WWE cover looked good. But let's talk about the good ones. The thing with older WWE video game covers is that they were not lazy and they kinda spoke to me in a way. I looked at the cover and I'm like, I get it. Let me explain. Smackdown, just bring it. I see colored rock, I see a blue background, basically, you know, telling me that it's a Smackdown video game. It says just bring it, and The Rock wants me to bring it. It's like The Rock wants me to try the game. It's like he's challenging me. What about Smackdown Shut Your Mouth? The first cover has The Rock and Hulk Hogan, a very iconic rivalry at that time. Like, I would love to see a cover back in like 2013 or whenever it happened of The Rock and John Cena. That would be cool. We never got it though. Another Shut Your Mouth version is Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, Jericho, and Booker T. And it's simple, but I loved it. First of all, you have some of the biggest superstars, and second of all, Triple H is telling me to shut my mouth. Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain. Well, that is just an easy one. I see Brock Lesnar, here comes the pain. And this cover looks very simple, I know, but it looks like Brock Lesnar is waiting for you at the end of the tunnel. I know it sounds silly. I'm kinda passionate about WWE games. Instead of giving us a blue background, it's all black, but Brock Lesnar is kinda bluish. The other cover looks amazing as well. You have Brock Lesnar, again, Here Comes the Pain. You have Tori Wilson, I assume. This game had a lot of these kind of moments. What about Smackdown vs. Raw? You may not like the cover because it's Vince McMahon, but again, it makes all the sense in the world. It's the first ever Smackdown vs. Raw game. You have the owner of Raw and Smackdown, And he has different colored eyes, Raw and Smackdown. What's there not to like? I don't know. What about Smackdown vs. Raw 2006? You have the face of Smackdown and you have the face of Raw. Imagine that kind of cover in 2017 or 18. AJ Styles and Roman Reigns. What about Smackdown vs. Raw 2007? I don't care what's about Smackdown vs. Raw 2007. This is the greatest WWE video game cover I've ever seen in my entire life. The colors, the pose, everything is perfect about it. We can all agree on the fact that older video game covers were way more badass. What about Smackdown vs. Raw 2008? Again, makes all the sense in the world. The background is blue for some reason, it's very bright, looks kinda different, I like it. And because this game was Smackdown vs. Raw featuring ECW, you got Raw, Smackdown, and ECW. All you need is just a little bit of creativity and these covers look so much better. Smackdown vs. Raw 2009 was, well, not my favorite one. I mean, I can appreciate it, you know, it was kinda greenish and this time it wasn't just PNG files, you know, it looked like an actual photo. And again, it made sense. DX is on the cover because this game focused on the tag teams, which was horrible by the way. Why would you focus an entire video game on a tag team match? But that's the way it was, and the cover really showed that. What about Smackdown vs. Raw 2010? I don't know, looks cool though. 10 is a big number, so why don't we slap a bunch of huge WWE superstars? The only reason I like Smackdown vs. Raw 2011 is because of the colors. It's not the best, definitely. It's kinda like they lost the whole point of Raw vs. Smackdown, you know? These covers became just about the biggest superstars, which was fine. They still looked creative, looked better than what we have right now. Every cover looked different, but they kinda lost the whole point of Smackdown versus Raw. But then again, it also makes sense because this was the last Smackdown versus Raw game because the brand split ended in the WWE as well. So it only made sense for them to stop the series. Don't get me wrong, it's not only WWE. This is an issue with video games in general. Look at Uncharted 4, probably my favorite video game of all time. The cover looks boring. It says nothing about the game. And I'm not saying that every cover needs a bunch of superstars and finishers and moments and fireworks on it. I'm not saying that at all. Sometimes simplicity can work. Look at Dragon Ball Kakarot. Amazing! This is my favorite detail. Look at Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain. You know when it doesn't work? When every single WWE video game looks the same with a different superstar. And this happened ever since WWE 12. Let's select our cover boy like we're gonna put him in some magazine. This way we don't need to worry about the cover. One guy, one logo, one background, and that's it. And people, I'm the biggest Randy Orton fanboy. I mean, the biggest exception is WWE 13. I don't know why, but this looked great. This is possibly the only good WWE cover ever since WWE 12. We have a current star in CM Punk, we have a great background, and you know, it kinda, in some way, told me that this game is all about the Attitude Era. I mean, this game was all about the Attitude Era. Then you have CM Punk on the cover, someone who was kind of a Attitude Era wrestler in the PG era, and you can't even tell whether this CM Punk is from like a video game or a real picture. I liked it. And then WWE 2K20 happened. A red background, a PNG file of The Rock, and while he is great on the microphone, it kinda made sense. Really, The Rock on the cover. During that era when everyone was all about the new guys, I mean, we even got a custom Daniel Bryan cover. Why couldn't you just put him on the cover in the first place? People were really disappointed. Ever since then, it's just boring. WWE 2K15. John Cena, of course, the face of the company, on a video game. I get it. But why is it so simple? To be fair, that's not the worst one. But like, I got the idea that every cover from now on is going to look the same, with a different superstar. Why would I care? Why would I get excited? Why would I even speculate? Next year we got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let me remind you that this game was 2K16. Stone Cold Steve Austin did not wrestle in 2016. I'm pretty sure about that. He's probably one of your favorite WWE superstars of all time. It just didn't make any sense to have him on the cover. Yes, we got a 2K showcase mode of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but someone current needed that privilege. Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover should have been like the pre-order bonus cover or something like that, like a deluxe edition. And it's just boring. Red background, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that's it. In WWE 2K17 we got Brock Lesnar. Okay, a current WWE superstar, but it's Brock Lesnar. What's next? Hulk Hogan? Again, a background and a PNG superstar. I think at this point I realized that WWE game covers will never look the same. Well, they will look the same. That's probably the issue. They will always look the same, but they will not look the way they used to. WWE 2K18 had Seth Rollins, which is a right step, but still so boring. So boring. Like, this one didn't even have like a signature pose. My dude was just standing there. That is probably the most boring video game cover of all time. I gotta be honest. And don't get me wrong, Seth Rollins deserves to be on the cover. He really does. But this one just looked bad. This looked horrible. In WWE 2K19 we got AJ Styles, and they edited the hair, by the way. Many of you don't know that. They actually photoshopped the hair. Looks like a shampoo commercial. Again, red background, PNG file. Didn't even bother to take an actual photo shoot. And don't get me wrong, AJ Styles totally deserves to be on the cover. But why couldn't you give me a cover of AJ Styles doing his signature pose, and like in 4 corners you would have other superstars? You could even do a Smackdown vs Raw theme. Whatever. Anything. And that's what we got in WWE 2K20. It's a bit different, because I feel like Becky Lynch was supposed to be on the cover in the first place, but they decided that the game wouldn't sell as good. At least this year we got 2 people instead of 1. Which is something I wanted for years. Is it gonna happen next year? I really doubt it. So that's the issue with current WWE video game covers. I know what to expect. I will never get hyped about it. What's the point of speculating who's on the cover? How could you get excited about a cover when you know that it's going to be a superstar, a PNG file superstar in a red background? Who gives a crap? It's crappy enough that these video games feel like an updated version of the previous game. It's such a shame that even the covers look like that. I mean, to be fair, WWE DVD covers look better. I know that it doesn't really matter that much, but I'm very passionate about WWE video games. Hopefully this trend will end in the near future. Maybe WWE 2K20 is a good sign. I don't know. I just want something cool. Thank you for watching, and as always, the great one, peace, love, and hugs.